Hey guys, today we're going to do a Nordstrom try-on haul. I'm very excited to show you what I purchased there. I did the curbside pickup at Nordstrom, and I think I've mentioned this before, but it's such an awesome and convenient way to shop. I mean, not even just during these times of COVID where if you feel a little bit safer not going into the store, it's such a great option. But it's just fast. Like you place your order online, you can sort your, or filter, I should say, you can filter your like search results by whether or not the product is available at your store, and you can search by your zip code. It's just really, really easy. And then they send you an email and they just let you know. So anyway, I just drove up to the Nordstrom, you call the number, you tell them you're there, you show them ID, and then they just give you a bag through your car window. It's really, really awesome. So anyway, just wanted to mention that because I don't know, I just really like it. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. And this video today is in partnership with Nordstrom. So a huge, huge thank you to Nordstrom for partnering with me on this video. As you guys know, I do a lot of shopping at Nordstrom. They just carry all of the brands. They just carry everything. They carry all of my favorites, and they'll also like introduce new brands to me, which I really love. So anyway, let me show you what I have in this bag, what we're going to be playing with, and let's start with foundation. So this is the Cle de Peau UV Protective Cream Tinted. So it has an SPF 50 plus, and it is in the shade Ivory. So I thought I would give this a shot. Let me see. It looks like a mixture of chemical and physical sunscreen. So I've got that. And I also have for concealer, the Instant Eye Lift Treatment Under Eye Brightener from Trish McEvoy. And I got the shade. Is there a shade in here? I don't see a shade. Anyway, this is what we're gonna be trying today, and no one ever really talks about Trish McEvoy, so I thought I would give that a shot. And then for powder, we are gonna be trying the Vapour Perfecting Powder Pressed, and I've really enjoyed the things that I've purchased from them. I'm really excited to try that powder. I also was curious about this Bobbi Brown Illuminating Bronzing Powder. One of my all-time favorite bronzers is one from Bobbi Brown. It's Stone Street. And I don't know, I just started poking around on the site and I thought I would give this a shot because it kind of looks like a blush, and it definitely looks like it has a little bit of a sheen. I purchased the shade Antigua, so we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll end up using it more as a blush. I did also purchase, I don't know if I'll use this in this video, but I went ahead and purchased one of the older Chanel blushes in the shade Pink Explosion. I went through my collection to see which older Chanel blushes I didn't have, and Pink Explosion was one. And if you don't know, Chanel has like reformulated their blushes, and so far I still like the older blush formula more than the new ones. So I thought I would pick some up before they disappeared completely. So I'll at least show you this color and swatch it for you, but I don't know if I'll use it in this video. Finally, for my haul, I picked up a new eyebrow pencil from YSL. And what got me about this pencil is the color of it. The shade of it is actually very, very cool toned. And yeah, I just wanted to give it a shot. So that is everything I purchased at Nordstrom. Let's go ahead and get to applying it on my face. All right, I'm starting with this Cle de Peau UV Protective Cream Tinted. I'm actually kind of surprised I didn't have this. I think I had maybe one of their UV products, but it wasn't tinted. Anyway, I don't have this, thought I would give it a shot. This is 30 mils, 1.2 fluid ounces. Isn't that funny? I think packaging can be very deceptive because this tube is very little. Anyway, moving on. This is in the shade Ivory. I'm gonna shake it up. Ooh, I think this shade will work. So this is the shade Ivory. It's very creamy, kind of thick texture. And I'm gonna take my La Mer foundation brush. I've actually been really enjoying this brush. And just laying some down. I'm going to apply the foundation to half of my face so we can compare. But yeah, I think this shade is good. This has a little bit of a scent to it. I don't know if it's fragrance. It doesn't smell like fragrance. It just kind of, maybe it smells like sunscreen. Yeah, it just kind of smells like something. It's not horrible, but it's there, it's present. All right, there it is applied to half of my face. I would say this has a light coverage, which I really enjoy. And I would say the finish of this is skin-like. It's not completely matte, but there really isn't a lot of luminosity to it. It's just very natural looking. All right, so that, what I squeezed out, I used all of it. So that was good for one half of my face. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing, apply to the other half of my face. All right, there it is applied to all of my face, and it looks very nice. It's sitting nicely in my problem areas, has light coverage. So that is the Cle de Peau 50 plus UV protective cream tinted in the shade Ivory. How lovely. And I've been looking for more bases with like a higher SPF count now that we're kind of getting into the summertime. So this is great. This is awesome. If you guys have ever tried this, please let me know your thoughts on this particular product. All right, next up we have Trish McEvoy. Again, this is the Instant Eye Lift Treatment Under Eye Brightener. And I don't know that this came with any shades. On the sticker there, it just says Instant Eye Lift, so maybe they only have one shade. So I think this has, yeah, this has a doe foot applicator. And I'm just going to apply some underneath my eye. It has a very strong like peachiness to it, so I guess this is a corrector, which is probably what makes it a brightener. So I'm just going to blend this in. I'm going to add a little bit more where I see a little bit of darkness there. I did not sleep well last night, and I woke up and my under eyes looked a little purpley. I was like, oh, that's lovely, lovely. Oh, nice. Yeah, I see a difference there. This formula is really nice. It's on the lighter side, which is great. Sometimes I feel like concealers can be a little bit too thick, and then they end up looking very thick and cakey and kind of dry underneath the eyes. But this is very nice. And it's definitely not super creamy. It just blended out nicely. It has like a little, I don't know if you can see my finger. Kind of sticking. It has a little bit of tack to it. I don't think it has super high coverage, but it definitely does like a brightening thing. Let me go ahead and apply it to my other eye here. Yeah, I wonder if you have like really dark circles underneath your eyes. Like this could be a good like first step, kind of putting that down and then putting a concealer over, because this really doesn't have a lot of coverage, but it really does a nice job brightening for sure. It definitely canceled out some of the deepness underneath my eyes. All right, very cool. Let's move on to the Vapour Perfecting Powder Pressed. It looks like it comes in the same packaging as their bronzer. So it comes in this very sleek, like soft touch plastic compact. And it does have a magnetic closure. And here is the powder. And I'm gonna start under my eyes. I don't know why, that's always where I start. And then brush some onto my cheeks. This base isn't very radiant, and I can usually tell whether or not a powder, like how mattifying a powder is. If my base is radiant, you can kind of see the difference, but I just see it a little bit here. It looks a little bit matter than this side, and then on my forehead, I feel like it's a little bit matter. So I think this powder is has a very soft touch. I don't think it's exceptionally mattifying, which is great for me. I have dry skin. So I'm comparing like the tone of my skin to see if the powder has kind of changed it at all. So I have powder on this side, no powder on this side. I don't think so. I think both sides, at least in terms of tone, looks the same, but this side definitely does look matter. I can see it more clearly now over here on my cheeks. Let me go ahead and finish applying. Yeah, so there's no like shimmers or anything in this pressed powder. It's not overly mattifying. I think it makes for a really great setting powder. I really like very kind of basic type powders to just set my face. This is great. All right, moving on to this Bobbi Brown Illuminating Bronzing Powder. I'm so anxious to see what this shade looks like. So again, I purchased the shade Antigua, and it looked like a blush. Oh yeah, it's like a blush, but they call it an illuminating bronzing powder. It also looked a lot more shimmery online. I do see shimmers in there. I don't know if you can see that. I do see a little bit of shimmer in there, but not quite as much as the picture made it out to look like on the Nordstrom site. But that is very interesting. It's very cool toned. I'm gonna put it where I put bronzer and just kind of see what it looks like. All right, I've got my dual-ended hourglass brush here. I'm gonna use the fluffier side, the bigger side, and try this out. I am officially fascinated by this shade because I think it works as a bronzer. But it's also very obviously this shade. It doesn't look like it changed color or something on my skin, but somehow I think it works. It makes me look like I have a little bit of like a sunburn, like I was just out in the sun. Maybe tonight I'm gonna develop like a burn, like that kind of look. And if you don't want to use a blush, it really just kind of takes care of both. And the shimmeriness of this is very, very subtle. Very subtle. It looks like a very soft satin on the skin. Let me put it all over my face. I feel like we'll get a better sense of it if I do that. There it is, all over my face as bronzer. I put it basically where I would put bronzer, kind of all over my forehead, down my temples, underneath my cheekbones. I brushed a little bit over like the bridge of my nose. I think it works. You guys let me know what you think, but I feel like it looks nice. It looks nice, and it looks like a bronzer. It doesn't look like I just put blush all over my face. Amazing. So that is Antigua, the Antigua bronzer from Bobbi Brown. All right. So for blush, I did mention that I purchased this old Chanel blush in Pink Explosion. Let's just take a look at this. I'm surprised I didn't already have this in my collection, but it is, yeah, it's a very bright, like rosy pink. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, this has some very prominent micro glitters. I wonder if that's why I've stayed away from this one in the past, but there is Pink Explosion. You know, I didn't swatch the Bobbi Brown. Let me do that quickly. So there's the Bobbi Brown right here, and then here's Pink Explosion. I guess now that I have the Bobbi Brown swatched, I can see that, you know, even though the shade of it is not a typical bronze shade, it just looks like heat. Maybe that's why it looks like I've been out in the sun maybe a little bit too long. That is Bobbi Brown, and that is Chanel. So I'm very fascinated by this Bobbi Brown. Very, very cool. So what I did want to use instead of the Chanel are the new Hourglass blush sticks, the Vanish blush sticks, I think is what they're called. So I pulled out two that I thought I would use. I'm probably going to be doing a fairly like neutral eye, but I'm really interested in this shade, Revel, which is a bright red. And then the other shade that looked really beautiful and interesting to me is the shade Sacred. This is a very warm kind of look, so I think I'm gonna go with Sacred, which is a little bit more of a universal kind of blush shade, and I think it may go with this Bobbi Brown a little bit more. Let's try it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I was gonna use a brush, but I think I'll just use my fingers. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and swipe my finger over the blush stick, pick up some product. It has a really nice, smooth texture. And this formula is supposed to be like a cream to powder. And I remember when I swatched these for you when I hauled them, they definitely had that feeling to them. They definitely felt like they did kind of dry down to a powder, set down to a powder. These kind of remind me of a more pigmented version of those NARS Air Matte blushes. They kind of have that same like cotton candy effect, like a poof of pigment just sort of landed on your cheeks because they have such a soft kind of blend out over here. Very pretty. So that's Sacred. I'm just gonna go with this color. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this color and apply it to the other side. And this formula is applying over my base products fine. I put more blush on this side than this side. So I'm going to add a little bit of powder, some of the Vapour pressed powder on top, just to kind of tame this side a little bit more. Yeah, I think that did it. So that is blush, a lot of blush I've got going on. We've got bronzer. All right, so I did not purchase a new highlight. And I don't think I have any like brand spanking new ones to play with. So I think I may forego highlight. I've been doing that a lot more lately. Interesting trend. Okay, let's just jump to eyebrows. I did purchase this new YSL eyebrow pencil. I got it in the shade 3. And I got it, like I mentioned in the intro, I got it because it just looked really interesting. It is like a taupe, but almost like a gray. Let me do a swatch. Ooh, nice texture. It's soft, but not really pigmented, which I like. But I really like cool toned brow products. So yeah, so it just attracted me. So I thought I would give it a shot. As you guys know, I don't use brow pencils that much. I'm more of a brow gel pomade person. But every time I use a pencil and fill in my brows, you guys always, guys always compliment me on my brows. So I'm like, fine, I guess I need to make a little bit more effort when it comes to my brows. Oh yeah, what a good shade. I feel like it's the perfect match. This color is so good. And there's a spoolie on the other end. Oh, this is good. Yeah, I really wish more companies would do shades that were this cool. It's not easy to find ones that are this gray. This is almost just like a medium tone gray. And the texture of this pencil is really nice. I find a lot of eyebrow pencils, if they are light in pigment, they're also kind of hard, like they're really waxy. This is actually kind of soft in touch, but it's also very light in pigment. It's very nice, easy to work with, very easy to work with. All right, those are my brows with just this pencil, no brow gel today. That was an exciting purchase. Okay, I did not buy any new eyeshadow. I don't think there were many, I don't think there were any new eyeshadows in the new arrival section. So I decided to pull out 2 eyeshadows that I actually purchased, I think during the last time I did this, and those are those YSL mono shadows. So I got Satin Crush in 04 and Sequin Crush in 04. So the Satin Crush is a satin finish eyeshadow, and here's the 04 shade. I think I may have used that in my other Nordstrom video. So maybe we'll just focus on this Sequin Crush, which is a glittery shade. And this is like a brownish green kind of color. So let's see if I can do like a like super dramatic look just using this one shadow. Probably end up being like a smoky evening look, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and apply this lightly. Ooh, that's that's really dark. Okay. Well, it's blending out nicely and very prominent micro glitters in there. I'm getting a lot of fallout, It could be because I really picked up a lot of pigment with this brush, but yeah, we'll try it on this side and I'll pick up a little bit less, but there's quite a bit of fallout here on my cheek. I'm gonna zoom in, I hope you guys can see that. Wow. I was definitely expecting some from the glitter, but not that much. Wow, very smoky. Very smoky. I'm gonna look very dramatic running my errands later. Let me see. I'm gonna take my powder brush and just see if I can just sweep this away. I got most of it. There's still a little bit of micro glitter down there, but I'm just gonna leave that. That's okay. I didn't put highlighter on, so that can be my highlighter. All right, so I'm gonna pick up a little bit less product, knock off the excess, and see if the fallout situation is as bad on this side. It definitely is not as bad, so I think it's just a matter of making sure you knock off the excess off of your brush and maybe not pick up quite as much product. Well, I'll tell you, it does not take a lot of product to get this amount of smokiness. All right, I'm going to just throw on some eyeliner or mascara. I don't have any new stuff, and then we will get to lips. All right, my eyes are done. Well, I really didn't mean to do anything remotely like this today, but here we are. All right, so I want to do a more pale lip, or you know, I'm not gonna throw on like a bright red or something. So I dug around in my collection and I thought I would use one of the new Gucci, these are their like Brilliant and Shine lipsticks. Anyway, I pulled out the shade Lynette Stone number 113. And this is like, you know, a cool tone brown. I thought that would go nicely with this. Let's try this out. All right, there is Lynette Stone on my lips. I like it with everything else going on. It's a little something, doesn't take away from the eyes. It's not too much. I think if I put a bold lip on, it would be too much with the eyes. So I really like this. Wow, and the smoky eye is growing on me. It's not looking quite as dramatic as it did when I first put it on. So that's it for this Nordstrom try-on haul. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. A big thank you to Nordstrom for sponsoring this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.